Hey, what's up, guys? Alex Bradley here, representing Swole Game Muscle Movement. Well, we moving right along. Guard your spirit. Guard your spirit. We gotta be able to guard our spirits. Once we actually get it right, it's equally as important to guard it to make sure that it stays intact. And before you speak something, everything begins with a thought. Everything first begins right here in your mind before it actually becomes a thing. Thoughts become things. But it's vital whenever you are guarding your spirit that you need to be careful on what you watch. Be careful on what you see, what you listen to, what the company you keep. All of these factors influence your thoughts. And being that everything begins with the thought, those things itself have so much to do with guarding your spirit. Because if you allow that negative energy to enter your brain at any point in time, of course, it's going to manifest into something more. And eventually, it's going to become something negative. So it's very important that you guard your spirit by, being mindful of even the things you see on your phone. I see so often, people post fight videos on Instagram and Facebook, and people quick to run to them and like them and share them and comment on them. That's negativity that you allowing inside of your spirit, which all that does is for at a later time, it messes up your brain and it clogs your mind. It clogs your mindset. And that's not good for you. Allowing negativity into your life only brings more negativity. That's why it's so important, so very important, to guard your spirit by only allowing good things into your mind, because thoughts become things. Guarding your spirit, that's what we're trying to do. That's the goal. That's what this video is about, guarding your spirit. So, the second thing that is very important when it comes to guarding your spirit is to be grateful. Now, we all should be glad that we was on God's wake up list this morning. Each day that we get up, every single day is a blessing. Like I said many times before, on your worst day, there's always someone who would be more than happy to switch places with you. So always be grateful. Be grateful for the things you have, the people you have, the things and the people in your life. Be glad for you. Be thankful for yourself that you could be a blessing in people's life. Be thankful for that. When I wake up in the morning, I also, throw this line into my prayer. I say, God, thank you for the people you bless me with, the people you bless me for, the things you bless me with, the things you bless me for. Because I have to understand that I am way more than just Alex. I'm way more than a guy before you in this camera. I am so much more than that. And I have to be thankful for that. And I have to be thankful that I have the opportunity to help others. So when you wake up in the morning, be grateful. Thank the Most High. But not only while you thanking Him, choose happiness. So often, so often we wake up in the morning on the wrong side of the bed. We choose sorrow. We choose to engage in drama. We choose to engage in this nonsense that popped off last night. We roll over and we pick up this thing right here, our cell phones, and we start, checking Instagram and the Facebook post to see what's going on. But get up in the morning and thank the Lord. Thank Him for letting you be on this side and not in the dirt. Be thankful for that. Be grateful. Because I guarantee you that if you start looking at things from the aspect of being thankful, you'll get more blessings. You'll get more blessings instead of being like, dang, can I get this? Or dang, can I get that? Just say, I'm so thankful that I have this. I'm thankful that I have that. Because when you're being grateful and you're being thankful and you're showing gratitude for the things that you do have, I assure you that you're going to get more in return. But all this has something to do with guarding your spirit. So, like I said, not only do we have to be mindful of the energy that we allow ourselves to see, the energy that we allow ourselves to read and think, and so on and so forth. We also have to be grateful. We have to use this positive energy that we have so we can be productive, so we can keep our minds intact. It's so very important that we be effective and not defective. Always remember that. Be effective, not defective. Okay? Because life is what you make of it. It always is. You know, people people oftentimes sit there and say, I found God. But how is that so? Think about it. How's that so? Because God was never lost. There's no missing person reports for God, okay? It's not that you found God because he was never lost. You were the one that was lost. You are the one that needed help, not God, okay? So whenever you claim to have found God, really what you did was open yourself up to accepting him and letting him come into your life and working with you and strengthening you and making you and your situations around you better. Okay? So be grateful, okay? Regarding our spirit, y'all. All right, regarding our spirit, because it's equally important to get our spirit right. But once we get it right, we got to do what we can to keep it intact, okay? So let's guard our spirit. And the last thing that I can think of right now is don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid to cry. Because a lot of us are dealing with things each day from day to day. Okay? We deal with so much from day to day to the point where it feels like life is too much to handle. It feels like no one is listening. It feels like we're in it alone. It feels like, we can't trust anybody. And true enough, all of these statements could have its points. But not only that, don't quit. Don't give up. Don't stop talking. Keep talking till someone listens. And if no one listens, then definitely know that you got a friend in God. Know that God is listening. You know, people think so much that God speaks to them so loudly. They think that God, makes a big fuss. But true enough, whenever you're in your, I guess you would call it your prayer closet, when you're having your quiet time, when you're meditating, that's whenever you hear God talking. Because God speaks so gently, so lightly, to where it's almost like a whisper. That's why it's so important to engage in meditation, study time. That's why it's so important to just shut yourself off and rest and just sit in pure silence so you can hear God talk to you. Because you can't hear God with all this ruckus and all this mess going on because God doesn't make a big fuss. Oftentimes people get that misconstrued because they thinking that God is the one making this big fuss when in reality that's Satan. That's why this world is so messed up to this day because Satan is constantly having people thinking that flashiness, flamboyance, obnoxiousness, those are the way to go. Those are the things that I guess you would say, excuse me, he has you thinking that that's the answer. He has you thinking that that's God talking when in reality that's not. God speaks gently. God speaks light. But like I said though, whenever you're going through something, don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid to reach out. You got a friend in God. Even if you have to commit these things to paper, even if you have to write these things down, just know that you have to get it out. Because if you're not getting it out and you're just holding it in, all it's gonna do is build up and it's gonna manifest into more. And all this is negative energy. Like I said many times before, negative energy begets more negative energy. And by holding all of these things in, all you're doing is destroying your spirit. And that's not the goal. Because right now, we're trying to guard our spirit. Even if it's not completely right, we want to guard our spirit still because we don't want to make it any worse than what it is. So always remember to talk until someone listens. And if you feel that it's no one you can trust, you got paper. Write it down. But most importantly, know that you got God. Seek God. Never be afraid. But like I said, you have to find him. You have to Close yourself down. You have to shut yourself down. You have to listen. You have to wait for his answers. You have to be patient. You have to be open minded. It's kind of like that old cliche that they say when you're in school, you got two ears and one mouth. That means you have to listen twice as much more than what you would talk. Okay? Like I said, listen twice as much more than you would talk. And like I said, just don't be afraid to mourn. Don't be afraid to cry. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to get it out. Because you got to get it out. If you hold it in, I promise you, hate and sadness only begets stress. And stress will kill you. There's positive stress and there's negative stress. But like I said, stress will kill you, especially negative stress, okay? So let's guard our spirits, all right? Let's try to make the best of each day. Let's choose happiness, okay? So remember these three principles. Be mindful of the energy that you allow around you. Be mindful of the energy that you allow yourself to see. What you watch on TV, what you listen to on the radio, what you listen to when it comes to people. Be mindful of the company you keep. Be mindful of what you're reading on your phone. Be mindful of the energy that you allow. That right there is principle number one. Principle number two, be grateful. Be grateful for those that are around you. Be grateful for the things that you have, whether it's materialistic or not. I like to thank God, for my left arm, my right arm, my vision, my nose, my sight, even the little things that we take for granted. Be grateful for that. And then thirdly, don't be afraid to cry. Always reach out. Always talking to someone listens, because I guarantee you somewhere someone will listen. But just remember that God is on your side. Like I said, don't be afraid to cry. Anyways, this video is getting way too long. I'm sorry, but this was just on my mind, and I just actually want to talk to you all because I love you all, you know, and I just really think that if God lays something on my heart to you all, I want to be able to relay it to you because I only want the best for us all, for the race, not just blacks, not just whites, but for the human race. I love you all. I would have said if I didn't. And just remember to keep watching these videos. I'm gonna keep making them even if you ain't watching them. One day somebody gonna pick up on 'em. But guard your spirit, alright? I love y'all. Alex Bradley, Swole Game Muscle Movement. We in the house. Love y'all.